Thanks, Clive, and welcome to the Late Look North. Good evening, I'm Megan Patterson. Royal Mail customers say their health's being put at risk because letters are being delivered up to a month late. It comes as frontline workers in the region have told the BBC parcels are being prioritised over letter deliveries. Jim Scott has this report.
DVLA sent on the 29th of October, arrived on the 27th, 4 weeks after.
Honestly.
This is from the NHS. That arrived on the 11th of October, which was only 12 days late, so that's good. 12 days late is not too bad.
Totting up just how late their letters are is an unwanted hobby for Samantha and Nigel in Sunderland. But for Samantha, this isn't just about Christmas and birthday cards being delayed, but her health. She'd been on a waiting list to have a hysterectomy at Sunderland Royal. After hearing nothing for months, she called the hospital and was told an appointment letter had already been sent out weeks before. Replacement copies were dispatched, but incredibly, both arrived 2 weeks after the surgery.
It was laughable, really. This letter contained pre-op instructions and post-op instructions. If I'd have missed that appointment, that would have been a massive financial burden to the NHS and to somebody else who could have had that appointment.
Samantha's story comes just months after regulator Ofcom delivered this.
Royal Mail has been fined £21 million for missing its delivery targets for first and second class posts.
But now concerns locally have emerged that piles of post are lying in sorting offices undelivered, while parcels are loaded up and sent out. Frontline postal workers over in Washington and here in Sunderland tell me the situation is becoming quite serious. In fact, one worker goes on to say that he's done the job proudly for many years, but now he feels as though his hands are tied, all because he's been told to prioritise parcels and, quote, deliver letters only if they have time. Well, I put the concerns to Royal Mail, who maintain that during busy periods like Christmas, it can be necessary to clear parcels first to keep offices safe and all mail moving through the network. It adds,
"We take any reports of delay seriously and will further investigate these concerns. We want to reassure customers that the overwhelming majority of mail is being delivered on time, and where a route is affected, we prioritise any delayed items the following day."
Jim Scott, BBC Look North.
The MP for Darlington's calling for the police to be given extra powers to stop balaclava-wearing gangs plaguing the town. Laura McAvoy wants the council to introduce a measure which would allow anyone wearing a face covering to intimidate and to harass to be fined £100. She wants what's called a public space protection order to allow that intervention. In the Champions League, Newcastle United lost the lead late on in Germany this evening. The Magpies drew 2-2 against Bayern Leverkusen. Despite the setback, the Magpies are 12th in the table with every chance of still qualifying for the next round. Adam Powell looks back at the action.
Newcastle may have been quicker out of the blocks. Harvey Barnes the first to test Bayer Leverkusen, but it was the home side who struck first, a header that went in off Bruno Guimaraes. Substitute Lewis Miley who made the breakthrough, heading Newcastle into the lead. There was another twist as Leverkusen equalised 2 minutes from time. It finished 2-2.
Now, the 49th Tree of Hope, a sapling from the Sycamore Gap tree, was planted today at a primary school just down the road from where the original tree stood. Mark McAlinden was there for us.
It was a touching moment to see the 49th sapling grown from the Sycamore Gap tree, serenaded by the kids who perhaps knew it best. Henshaw C of E Primary School is closest to where the tree was illegally felled, and now a little offspring will live on, almost in the shadow of its parent.
I was at the felled tree the day after it was struck down, and it was just such a sad scene. So to see this sapling now planted is a real story of hope and regeneration and promise.
Teachers here say children grieved the loss of the iconic tree, but coping with that has helped them connect with the landscape around them.
To have this as a stimulus to learn about environment, to learn about how trees grow and how important they are, is put it into perspective for the children to know that this is a living, breathing thing and that it is important for all of us.
There's only 49, right? 49 in the entire population of Earth, And we've got one of them.
Out of every terrible event which happens to us in our lives or happens to us in our communities, there's always that element of hope and that next step, and that's what this tree will be.
Mark McAlinden, BBC Look North, near Hadrian's Wall.
Time now for the weather. Here's Paul Mooney.
Good evening. As we head into the weekend, things stay fairly unsettled, breezy, nowhere near as windy as it was yesterday. Overnight tonight, there are 1 or 2 showers around, especially in western areas. Further east, it's drier and it's clearer. Stays pretty windy as well, so the temperatures will hold up. Nothing lower than about 7 Celsius through the night. Tomorrow, a mostly dry day. Wouldn't rule out 1 or 2 showers, again more especially for Cumbria. Eastern area seeing the best of the sunshine, and later in the day, the next area of cloud begins to thicken up from the west. We're looking at temperatures into double figures again, highs around 11 Celsius, but with that brisk south to southwesterly breeze. Some overnight rain tomorrow night, that clears away fairly quickly on Friday. Brighter spells spreading in from the west. Saturday starts off dry and bright, becomes wetter and windier later.
That's it from us. Your next update tomorrow morning. Bye for now.